Good luck editing this. That's going so much.
So
I hope we make as much sense when we're being recorded that we did before, because we just missed like an hour of really decent chat.
I perhaps should have recorded it, but it was just, I think we got to know each other perhaps 20, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
What have you got drinking? Is it coffee or is it some...
No, I've gone off brand. I've got a turmeric tea because I've had so much coffee today. So it gets to about lunchtime. I'm like, right, decaf all the way.
I've never heard of turmeric tea. I might have to investigate that one.
It's beautiful. It's naturally caffeine free. It's a really fun yellow color. So it's kind of you can't see it, but it's bright yellow. Really like spicy. It's like cinnamony and warming. It's very good for you.
Good afternoon. Lovely to see your bright and smiley face. Could you kindly introduce yourself and tell us what you do, please?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Alice Lyons. I run a company called Dark Coffee, which is a wellbeing consultancy, and our mission is to start unfiltered conversations around mental health. So we do this in a bunch of ways. I do a lot of content, especially on LinkedIn. I do a lot of videos. I do a lot of talking around my personal story with things like depression and suicide ideation. And then we do talks, workshops, we do corporate training. And we have a really cool podcast that I'm really proud of as well, called Dark Coffee, which is how the whole company started. I also kind of have a bit of a side hustle. I kind of draw on my experiences in marketing and kind of personal brand. So I do things like LinkedIn training, and I do consultancy and stuff on the side as well.
Brilliant. And how are you finding working from home is working for you at the moment?
Oh, it's awful. It's up and down. Like there are some good points from it. Like I've done some things and I've started some projects that I never would have started otherwise. I'm a massive advocate of co-working spaces. I adore working with other people. I love being around other people. I'm an extrovert. That's just how I roll. And I like leaving my house more than once a day. I'm normally out 3, 4, 5 times a day. So it's been a challenge. It's been emotionally quite hard as well, because I miss people. I miss hugging people. I miss eye contact, all these kind of things. So yeah, very much double-edged sword, but I feel very lucky to be in my particular living situation. It's very entirely tolerable. And I'm very au fait with technology, so I'm fine reaching out to people that kind of way as well. But yeah, it's been a challenging time. I've been quite open and honest with people when I've been struggling, and it's kind of nice because it's been a real source of connection to me, just to talk about the truth of the experience and the difficulties of it. It's been very cathartic in some ways.
So you're seeing it's quite reflective and positive, but improving yourself, as it were.
Yeah, like I'm just a bit of a personal development junkie anyway, so I always see opportunities in whatever kind of traumas I'm going through. I've got a bit of a sinister streak to me, where if I'm going through a hard time, I'm like, I can capitalize on this later. It's okay. Like, if anyone's going to exploit me, it's going to be me. So yeah, I'm quite used to kind of working my way through problems and trying to find a solution through the kind of messiness of it. I'm like, where's the kind of magic here? Where's the takeaway? Where's the lesson? And that's not just for my own personal benefit. It's so that I can pass it on to other people as well. Because of course, like, well, one of the things I'm trying to do with Dark Coffee is to break stigma around mental health and to talk about it more freely and more openly. And one of the best ways you can do that is not just after an experience and reflecting back on it, but to do it in real time. So I've got a lot better at discussing my emotions when they're quite raw and when they're quite surface level, and trying to kind of talk through it. It's a good process for me to go through to kind of reconcile it with myself, but then it's helping teach others as well. And I find it's a more honest way of teaching.
Gosh, that's very refreshing to hear somebody speak like that about their experience, which I think is, thank you for being very honest and frank there. I understand you're currently in Chorlton. How is Chorlton for you at the moment? What have you seen? How's it changed?
Sunny, it's beautiful. It's absolutely lovely around here. It's a very kind of community driven place anyway, but I just feel like that's been reinforced. I've had a lot of notes through the door saying, if you're struggling with this, just give us a shout. We've got a WhatsApp group and stuff. And I have to admit, I haven't actually engaged with the community here as much as I do with other communities. Like the business community in Manchester is very much like, that's where I like to make friends and hang out. But there is just a very pleasant atmosphere here. For the most part, people are following guidelines around spatial distancing, but you can still like say hi to people in passing. I'm making good use of my doorstop, because I'm kind of, my doorstep even, I got a few steps down to the pavement. I'm kind of 3 meters away, so I can sit in my doorway and just say hi to people that go into the shops, because there's an alleyway right here, so people go past on the way to the shops and stuff. So I just kind of say hi to people. I'll be out on the front step like journaling or doodling, and like kids will always wave and stuff, so it's just kind of nice. It's just sort of feel good vibes.
So this is anybody walking past that you don't know them, but you're just being hi and smiling?
Yeah, like I don't know the names of anyone nearby. I've just recently started talking to my next door neighbours, which I know is a little bit naughty, but we've always just given each other a very sort of professional distance. Do that expert level of like, I'm going to casually ignore you because I don't know what's going on in your day. I just respect your privacy. But we've been chatting over the fence a little bit, which is really nice. But yeah, loads of people just, you don't even need to say anything. People just make eye contact and smile and stuff a bit more than they would in an average week. But then I'm just here a lot more than I am in an average week. Usually I only come in to put my head down and then I'm out again. So it's been kind of nice to see the neighborhood at different times of day and engage with it a little bit more. It's made me very appreciative for it, actually.
That's good. You're seeing more value in it, and it's enabled you to engage and understand more of your neighbours, which is fantastic. So, you touched on the fact that you're quite tech savvy and that. How have you been connecting with people? You've been using different platforms, and have you been connecting very well with friends and professional associates?
Yeah, so Zoom's just been the easiest thing for me to use because I've done it before. So I upgraded my user level very early on because I was like, I want to have extended conversations. I want to chat with more people. I want to pivot my business and have more online offerings. So it just made sense. I just did it straight away without thinking about it. House party was a new one for me and my family, but we all got on there pretty quickly, and it's been really nice because most of my family are in Bristol. That's where I'm from. And I normally talk to my parents once a week, like at the weekend I'll call home and I'll talk to them. But my sisters, one of them is in Swindon with her partner, and we never used to talk on a regular basis. Like a couple of times a year we'd catch up, or like at Christmas or birthdays we'd meet up back in Bristol, but we really don't talk on a regular basis. But now we've got to a point where as a group we all go on a house party 2 times a week, which is really nice. It's something we didn't do before, so it's kind of nice. The circumstances have not forced us to do it, but it's just encouraged us to do it, and we want to do it
Again, so that's a positive from the rubbish that is the current situation, which I think is
Depends
fantastic.
if you like family or not, I suppose. But so far so good. No big rows, or no one's out the inheritance or anything.
And so I've noticed on your LinkedIn you talk about helping people to become a badass version of themselves. So in the current situation that you're in, what words would you give to people to encourage them to be, or motivate them to be a good version of themselves coming through this and exiting it?
I think one of the cool parts of like badassery, it all sounds like very dynamic and very action driven and stuff. Actually, it kind of starts with a more contemplative stage. I think a lot of us will be happier with ourselves if we first of all accept who we are. And for me, that's quite a quiet, kind of unglamorous process, especially for anyone that's gone through trauma, or anyone that's gone through, a lot of us have all this baggage with us. Like we judge ourselves for things we used to do, or we look at our current situation and we say, oh God, I suck at that, or I did that wrong, or we're very, very judgmental of ourselves. And like, actually, the more we can accept ourselves as we are and be forgiving of ourselves, that is a real source of happiness, and it's a source of well-being, and it's a source of fulfillment in our lives. Like it's hard to move on and, air quotes, be the best version of yourself unless you're happy with who you actually are. And that doesn't mean being like all bells and whistles and sass and being like, oh my God, I'm the best ever. It just means being content in your own skin and being able to sit with yourself. And I think this situation is forcing a lot of people to sit with themselves an uncomfortable amount, and some of us are better at it than others. I'm really happy doing it. I've been doing it for a really, really long time. But I've seen people really struggle with it because just the amount of quiet they've had to sit in, and the situation has thrown up, I call it the bleak mirror, because it's really thrown a mirror up to us and said, have a look at your life. Have you made the right decisions? Have you settled down with the right person? Is your living situation right? And you just picked up on Chiltern. Like, I chose this area very, very carefully when I moved. I spent weeks going around and like looking at different places, and I completely believe this was the right place for me to be. But other people will have made snap decisions. They would have rushed into things, done things because it suited them monetarily or whatever reason. And this situation is going, are you really happy with where you're at? Have you made all the right decisions along the way? And it's hard, and it's brutal. It is a really brutal situation for a lot of us. So I think that's the first thing is to just and to get to know yourself as well. Like this, environment that we're in now, whether you're busier than usual or you're quieter than usual, I think it would be a really good time, just while the rest of the world is kind of not necessarily moving at the same pace, there are little opportunities to get to know yourself a little bit more and get to know what makes you tick, and are you genuinely happy? Are you not happy in your relationships because the other person is bad, or is there something about yourself that you're learning right now that you think, actually, I want to move forward with that, I want to use that as a source of inquiry, and I want to get to know that part of myself a bit more, whatever it can be. This is all sounding a bit esoteric and a bit vague, but I genuinely believe like self-inquiry is a really powerful thing, and getting to know what your values are. If nothing else, just know what you truly value in life, because a lot of people will have their job title removed, for instance, at this time, so their value can't be placed on their job description anymore because it's gone. So okay, my value as a person isn't in the job that I do. What is my value? What can I give to the world? What do I care about? What do I want to do? These are all questions you can be asking yourself, and getting to know what you truly care about. Is it the money? Do you really care about the money, or did you just think that you cared about the money when you had it? So that's a really vague answer, I apologize.
Not at all. I think it's a wonderful answer. Thank you very much. Alice, you've been absolutely splendid. Thank you very much. Enjoy your afternoon, and I can't wait for a glass of dark coffee with you when we next meet.
Thanks very much.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.